Yokoso! This is Major Player with some savage Sealclubbing replays from World of Tanks Blitz. The club of the hour is the DW2, aka the Deutschvolkswagen 2, aka the Douchewagon 2, a tier 4 German heavy tank. While we wait for the boring early game to develop, I'll get my boring personal story out of the way. Back when I was a 42% sub 1000 game noob, I tried out the DW2 because there was a lot of talk about it on the internet. Oh, it's the worst tank in the game. Oh, it's garbage. Oh, but with a new gun, it's quite good. Back in my early noob days, I didn't even know which version of the DW2 I played, as I noobed out a 50% win rate in 28 games. It was the version with the new gun though. Now that I have it back for ace chasing and stats rehab, I learned firsthand that the new gun, the 7.5cm Kampfwagenkanone 40L43, which it shares with the Panzerwehr D, a tier 4 German medium tank, transforms the DW2 into a proper tier 4, and a savage Sealclubber. So I push up the hill slowly. The DW2 has got 8 degrees of gun depression, which is equal to some of the top hull-down heavies like the M103 and ST1. You don't have any of the armor, but gun depression is gun depression. At least the DW2 now is an actual gun to depress and shoot. And it works. As you can hear, I've done a little something with the gun sounds. I've downloaded a mod that ports over PC gun sounds, and I actually changed the DW2's gun sound through some XML editing to the PC large extra sound, normally reserved for guns of 128 to 140 mm. So I've made the DW2 sound like a PC Jagdtiger. The DW2's armor is 50 mm all around. I make a mistake here by coming out forwards and not side-scraping, so I get heated by the M2 medium. I've also changed the Sixth Sense sound to the Metal Gear Alert sound, and the crew voice to the Girls-on Panzer Uncle-san Chimu crew voice. I come out forwards again against the enemy DW2 and get hit in the turret. I've made enough misplays and bad trades. I gotta be more careful. Then, that juicy target T-82 appears and I slap it in the ammo rack for 60% of its health. The 7.5cm L43 actually handles decently enough to be a proper anti-tank gun, and has a good enough 103 standard pen, which is more than double the standard pen on the DW2 stock gun, the stupid 7.5cm L24 Derpowitzer. It doesn't have the terrible AP pen and alpha of the 5cm pop gun either. You also don't need to worry about fussing with heat. It packs APCR of 139 pen, enough to give you a fighting chance against the mythical KV-1. I run all provisions, rammer, vents, and gun laying drive on the DW2. I tell the friendly B1 to push up the hill and provide a distraction for me to farm damage, as I was down to half health while he was still at full health, but the B1 decides it wants to say, "I have the low ground," which I'm pretty sure isn't how the line went. I make the mistake of following him, fearing isolation, and proceed to not really do much. Except get juked by an enemy Lux. I shuffle in place, fearing the enemies on the high ground, not charging at them recklessly as they could just chop my limbs off or something from that position. Eventually I changed my mind. I had to take the high ground and keep it. I out-reflexed the enemy M2 medium. I saw that the T-82 was turning my way, so I backed off until my camo was reset and maybe he looked somewhere else. I looked back to check my support. I vaguely noticed something green there and I move up. Spotted! Too slow. Bam! I quickly angle into a side scrape to bounce the enemy whatever. It seems there are a ton of reds in front of me with their guns pointed not at me, so I pump adrenaline for accelerated farming potential. That T-82 backs into me and crash! Then I slow down and side scrape again to bait a bounce from the enemies in front of me. I bounce the enemy DW2, and then I jump out and... The DW2 is a little slow, and its gun is a little slow as well, so unfortunately it's prone to getting kill-stealed during cleanups. In the end, I take a desperate snapshot at the enemy looks to try and grab that last kill, but the dispersion on this gun is still a little derpy. The aim time is good enough, just aim your longer shots. So there was quite a bit of how not to play a heavy there, coming out front first. The DW2 is a good side scrape trainer, but it's not fucking invincible! Like a Matilda or something. The next game of the collection is at Lost Temple. The song of the map is Yuki no Shingen, a Japanese Navy march for an Asian-themed map. Conventional meta is to go temple, as you can really dominate by taking the top of the pagoda and pivoting around. Typically, low-profile, heavily armored Soviets and thick-turreted Americans thrive there. The DW2 is neither, but at tier 4, I might as well try my best. In random pubby matches, you still have to call temple and hope at least some of your team follows you, because if you are outnumbered and alone in the middle of temple, it's not a good look. I'm spotted, but just angle and hope. Taking the top is important. I snapshot the Crusader around the building and pivot around the top of the pagoda. I have the high ground. With the pagoda secured, I can peek-a-boom. I've got good cover and good firing lanes. The DW2 can hit 6 shots for good alpha. 160 is a good punch at tier 4. Roll right, there's a shot. My team has blasted through the rest of the enemies at temple, while 2 foolish enemies stayed outside the temple and managed to not contribute for their team. Now for the cleanup. I knocked down the wall because I don't really have much for gunmanship, and I don't trust I can nail the enemy DW2 through the wall without a cursed bridge in the way as well. I load the dirty and maybe unnecessary Pramo and drill him. I try to drive off the cliff to dodge or troll bounce return fire, but fail. I decide to take revenge and shoot him again, nailing the commander's cupola. Nice. Just trying to drive forward at a slight angle, I manage to catch the shot with my angled side and avoid taking HP damage. Again, you're not fucking invincible! But the DW2 can help you learn how to angle, and how much angling can help. And now it's just a game within a game of finding the last enemy and at least getting one shot into him before the rest of the team kills him. There's my one shot. Dodge a stupid Derpowitzer shot. And that's the end of the second game. What limits the DW2's Sealclubbing potential is its lack of speed. You only have about 10 horsepower per ton and a top speed of 35 kilometers per hour, so you can't exactly fly around the map like an A20, or even the Panzerfiat D. The final game of this set is on Oasis Palms. The song of the map is the British Grenadiers March. While this is not a British-themed map, the British did fight in deserts in World War II, so there's a tenuous connection there. At least you have good traverse numbers. Maxed out, you're at about 40 degrees per second on the hull and 46 degrees per second on the turret. So it's good enough at keeping its gun on enemy mediums or lights trying to circle it, and swatting them down. So it seems most of the team is going towards the southeast dunes. The far southeast corner has a couple of narrow corridors where many teams will bunch up into and cause a lot of congestion. But with the DW2, I figure I'll try to club my way through it if the situation unfolds that way. With the green meat shield in front of me, I ready the club. But it seems that the enemy Kame-san Chimu Hetzer has flanked in between me and my meat shield. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. I get my gun in the game that much faster, and it seems like the enemy Usagi-san Chimu M3 Lee has come with the Hetzer. What teamwork from Owarai. Pump goes the adrenaline. Hetzer knocked out. World of Tanks 101. Shooting enemies in the drive wheels can really screw them up, and if they are turretless, they can get screwed up even worse. The enemy Lee repairs his tracks before I can retrack him, so I aim up and hit a flatter spot in his armor. Better impact angle that way. Another World of Tanks 101. I finish off the Lee, but get HE'd for 38 damage by an unseen enemy. I shrug it off, as there are more enemies in the nearby corridors that need more urgent attention. I find an enemy DW2 and set up a side scrape. Might as well slow myself down and not lose HP unnecessarily. I lose a shot into the enemy DW2's gun mantlet. You have a 50mm gun mantlet plus 50mm of front turret armor, so shooting that mantlet with AP is a 50-50 pen. I come out forwards and nail him in the turret cheeks while he's still reloading. He backs out and hits me in the turret, then turns around to fight the flankers. I misplay this one and shoot into his sides at a bad angle for 0 damage. This shot was just snapshotting into center mass, but I could have went for a drive wheel shot here, Fortunately, I just reload up and kill the enemy DW2 without much consequence. This Valentine 2 was just sitting there, pointing his ass at me the whole time, but I thought the DW2 was a more dangerous target, so I left him for now. The back deck of the Valentine 2 is actually very weak. I thought it was 14mm, but I double checked and found it's 17mm. Still an easy pen, as the HE on this gun is an unnerfed 38mm. Some 75mm guns had their pen nerfed down to 20mm a long time ago for no good reason, but this gun did not get the nerf. I farmed some good damage, and finally break out of the southeast corner corridor. Some numpty is probably sitting in spawn spamming HE. I try to zigzag just in case to bounce incoming fire. There's the spawn camping M2 medium. I crack him, and then find an enemy T-46 right in front of me. The M2 medium HEs me for 27 damage. As my gun isn't particularly fast, I try to shoot and ram him for extra farming before my teammates kill him, trading 51 HP for 170. That was a bit of a poor shot, as I didn't really aim in enough for that range and size of target. As I close the distance, the target becomes bigger and closer, so I can snapshot him with success. I poke over the hill. Wait. When I first started recording DW2 footage, I thought, it would be real nice to catch a mastery on recording. That's all for Major Player's Savage Sealclubbing DW2 Replay Pack. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, if you please.